Good evening, VV Nation. Ron Wheeler here, manager of options trading, bringing you tonight's special presentation, Finding Consistent Profits in a Falling Market. Now, why is this so important that we learn? Well, to be successful as a trader, as an investor, you must learn how to profit in both bullish and in bearish markets. Now, how are some of the ways that we can profit from these falling markets? Well, we can become short sellers. We can actually short stock. Now, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people cannot do that. So there's some other opportunities. There's buying contra ETFs. That's another way to profit during falling markets. But what I want to show you tonight, I want to show you how I've done it this year, and I've been doing this for the last 25 years as a trader. I'm going to show you, using the power of options, how we can profit from a falling market. So the question becomes, what do we look for? Well, first off, we have to take a look at the market trend. That's where everything starts. And again, let's go back to the market timing graph here in VectorVest and just take a simple look at what this graph looks like. We are moving from the upper left to the lower right. That is a key indicator of where the direction of the market is going. So if that's the case, now what do? We know that we have a market direction. We also use the DEW to confirm. Well, now what we're going to do is we're going to look for stocks that follow the trend. We want to find stocks that look exactly like that market timing graph. So let's take a look at how we do it. Inside of VectorVest, let's take a look at our Unisearch. And there's a nice folder that we can look at called Searches Short. Now, inside this folder are some of my favorite scans that I use for shorting opportunities or selling opportunities, stocks that are in a downward direction. And this is where I found the majority of my positions this year. So one of my favorite scans is actually Pirate Short. So let's take a look at Pirate Short. Let's just run a current scan and take a look at what that gives us. So Pirate Short. And I'm just going to take that default scan and let's go ahead and run that search. So as of today, now I'm doing this presentation, I'm doing the recording on Friday morning, and as you can see, the market is actually up today, so that might limit the number of opportunities we get, but let's take a look at what we're bringing up here. We've got stocks like Teladoc, Gossamer, Carvana, Rivian. Well, let's take a look at some of the graphs. If I click on the graph option up here, let's drop that down to graph. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just graph the top 10. And let's take a look. Well, here's Teladoc. Teladoc is an example of a stock that I really like to be bearish on. It's moving very nicely from the upper left to the lower right. Let's take a look at Gossamer Bio. I don't know about this one. Yes, it's a Pirate Short, but it doesn't look overwhelmingly bearish to me. How about the next one? Carvana. Oops, I skipped Carvana. The beauty of real-time displays. Carvana, this is a stock that I would like to be short on. Rivian, not bad. Upper left, lower right. You may think it might be a little too volatile. I'll leave that up to you. Go down a little bit more. TCDA, I don't know about that one. So I'll tell you what, how can we make this a little better? How can we fine-tune this scan to maybe filter out some of these ones? Well, let's go back to our Unisearch. Now, one of the things that I like to do is I like to look for stocks that are moving down over the course of the year. And this is something that you can filter right into your Unisearch. So I'm going to take a look at this blank line. I'm going to take a look and say, all right, let's take a look at stocks, the price, and we're going to do the current price, the actual price. Under operator, I'll choose less than. And then under value, we're going to say custom date and value. And we'll choose the date as weeks, 52 weeks ago. And under value, I'll simply just choose stocks, price, and price actual. Okay? Now, you can also use price split adjusted if you're worried about splits as well. I found that in most cases it doesn't matter to the scans that I use. Now, let's go ahead and run that search and take a look at some of our results. All right, let's graph the top 10. And, all right, now we've got BBIO, definitely a downtrending stock, looking pretty good. Teladoc again, we saw that earlier. Gossamer, well, Gossamer is still in that list. Take a look. It is lower than it was 1 year ago. Carvana, Insmed, CRISPR Therapeutics, Beyond Meat, another great looking bearish stock. DraftKings. This one looks like it's a takeover. And finally on that top 10, Exact Sciences. So what that filter does is it allows it to really filter out some of those stocks that may not be moving in that perfect direction. That's a start. So I like to use scans from that search as short. I happen to like Pirate Short. Another one I like to use is Doug's Downers. I've had great success with IG Plungers. Now, I'm not saying that any of these scans are not great, but these scans are really good and they've done very well for me. Vern's Vultures has done very well for me. Show Me the Money Short. These scans are very, very good for finding these bearish opportunities. So now that we have an idea of the type of stocks that we're looking for, let's do this. Let's take a look at some actual trades that we've done. Now, the beauty of all of these trades that I'm showing you is these were done live with our Ultimate Retirement Solutions clients. I do these trades live every Monday and every Wednesday, so all of these were done in real time in a class. So what I want to do is I want to go to my closed positions tab. So these are some of the trades I've taken over the past couple of weeks. Now you can see I've got quite a few winners in there. There's some losers too. Not every decision that we make is perfect, but you can definitely see that there is a lot more winners than losers here. So what I want to do, I trade a lot of S&P options and I trade a lot of stock options. Since we're talking more about stocks tonight, here's what I want to do. I want to filter this down to only stock trades. So under notes, I'm just going to type in stock. Okay, so that's going to take this down to solely stock trades. So you can see over the past couple of weeks, I've had a couple more winners on stocks like Twilio, Etsy, Meta, had some losers on Adobe, Salesforce, Nvidia, some winners on GE, Clorox, Baidu, PayPal. Let's take a look at some of these stocks and let's look at what the graphs look like. So I'll click on graphs. In the upper left-hand corner, let's take a look at Twilio. So here's Twilio. This is an example of a perfect stock that we would want to find a shorting opportunity on. Now, to hone in on this one, I did a trade on this back on October 10th, which was right here. I was in that trade for 3 total days, and as you can see, I'll just kind of slide this over. It resulted in an $835 profit. Let's take a look at the next one, Etsy. Here's Etsy. If you look at it from a 1-year graph, you can see the exact same concept. We're moving very slowly and surely from upper left to lower right. And same idea. I took a trade on this one also on October 10th. I'll zoom in. And you can see how the stock definitely sold off down to that prior low. Let's take a look at another one, Meta. Upper left, lower right. I'll zoom into the last couple of months here. That trade was done on September 26th, which was back right about here. So September 26th, and you can actually see that even after we took the trade on Meta, that the stock really just kind of went sideways for a while, and then ultimately finally came down to where I was out of that trade on October 11th. Now, let's actually take a closer look at that Meta trade. So what I can do, I'll go into my tracking software. Let's take a look at Meta and let's open that trade up to view our details. So you can see on September 26th, I sold 12 145 calls, and on September 26th, I bought 12 149 calls. Let's take a look at that trade. I want to show you the details of how this works, why I like options, and why specifically I like this type of trade. Okay, so here we have a graph of Meta. I have the graph moved back to the date I took the trade, which was September 26th. Now, let's talk about how we can make money here. Well, number one, we can short the stock. We can just sell 100 shares, 500 shares, 1,000 shares, as many as you want. That's one option. A lot of people can't do these types of trades in their accounts, maybe their IRAs. It's not an option for them. However, speaking of options, one thing that you can do with this is you can trade options, and most IRAs will support this as well. You can simply buy a put. Now, the problem with buying a put in a situation like this is a put does not give you the best chance of success. When you buy a put, the stock must move lower. Let me give you an example of this. I'll open up what's called an options risk graph, and let's project buying a November 18th 125 put on Meta. Now, here's what happens as the trade starts to move. You can see that as the trade starts to move down, this dashed line, this is your profits and losses. So if the trade moves down to 125 and it moves down to 125 in one day, yes, you would have profits on this trade. However, what you don't see is that every day in this trade, there's something called time decay. You are racing the clock to profits. You will not make money on this stock unless it is below $115.96 on the day of expiration. Because what happens is every day you are in this option, the price will start declining. See that dotted line coming in there? These are your profits slowly and slowly and slowly deteriorating to the fact that you will not be profitable on this trade unless the movement of the stock can outpace that decay. Why fight the decay? Put that decay in your corner. What we like to do is we are option spread traders. So we have a stock like Meta. What I do in a bearish market is I sell a call. Why do I sell a call in a bearish market? Well, think about it. If you've ever bought a call because you thought a stock would go up and that stock ultimately ends up going down, what happens? The call that you bought loses money. That's what happens as an option buyer. When you sell a call and the stock starts moving down, that call that you sold starts to lose value. I can sell it for, let's say, $1,000, and every day that option loses value, $900, $800, $700. So as the stock moves in my direction, I'm making money. Now, another beautiful thing about this is we can set the trade up with probability. So you can see right here on September 26th, I sold a 145 call. That puts that price right about here. The stock at that day was trading for around 136. I chose 145. Now the reason I chose 145 because this gives me a statistical 60% probability. Now I have a 60% chance for this stock to stay below 145. Okay, it doesn't have to just go down. If the stock goes sideways, I make money. If the stock goes up, I can still make money. It gives me a big window to where I can profit from this trade. Now, the problem that you have with selling options is this. If you just sell an option, what's called naked, that carries a lot of risk. Okay, if the stock all of a sudden gapped up to $200, you could be sitting in one of those trades where I was thinking I was going to make $1,000, but now all of a sudden I'm down $7,000 or $8,000. That does not work to make consistent profits. So what we do is a trade called a vertical spread. So as I sell the 145 call, I simultaneously buy, in this case, the 149. Now what that does is that locks my loss. The most I can lose on this trade is only $4 a share. That's it. It doesn't matter how high Meta goes, I can only lose $4 a share. This is how I can manage these trades successfully. I can get into the trade where I can make $700 or $800. I lose, and I still only would lose $700 or $800. Now, the next thing that you have to know about being an option seller is you can enter and exit these trades however you want. Now, I'm going to move that graph over here again to where I did the trade. You can see I took the trade on September 26th. I used an October 21st expiration, so I was trading the next month options, and I exited the trade on October 7th. So after this stock essentially went sideways for the better part of a week, week and a half, I finally was able to exit that trade on October 7th. And even though the stock only dropped from 142 down to about 133, I was still able to make my profits on that trade. In this case, it ended up being a $767 profit. This is what's called a bear call spread. The beautiful thing about this trade, again, is you're locked in to a maximum loss. You can enter and exit these trades whenever you would like. They're not locked in till expiration. And because we're selling this with a higher degree of probability, we can make money even as the market goes sideways. Now think about that. How can we make money as the market goes sideways? Let's go back to a risk graph. And let's put a trade together on Meta. So let's say I'm looking to do this on Meta. I'm going to sell let's say a 135 put. All right. A 135 put, we will sell that, or I'm sorry, a 135 call. My apologies. The downside sometimes of doing live presentations, right? So we're going to sell a 135 call because we're bearish. Now, what you can see from this risk graph is this. Take a look. If the stock goes down in price, you can see the stock price down here at the bottom. If the stock goes down in price, my trade starts to enter profits, and that's a great thing. Now, here's the downside. You can take a look here. The most I can make on this trade is $745, but look at my risk. What would happen if Meta would all of a sudden have this crazy rise to $165 a share in 2 days? You would be left holding a loss of approximately $2,500. That's unsustainable. So here's what we do. As I mentioned, we're going to buy some insurance on this. As I sell that 135 call, I will simultaneously buy a further out call as protection. Now, what that does is that now locks in my risk. On this trade, I can now make $175, and the most I can lose is $325. Now, even that may not be fantastic for some of you. You might look at that and say, I don't know about that. And that's fine. But here's what I want to show you on this graph. What would the stock have to actually do for you to lose $325? I want you to follow this dashed line down. To lose $325, the stock would have absolutely have to go up to $190, $200 a share. That's going to be really, really a big move that would have to happen all of a sudden. Now, what I like to do in a trade like this, I like to take profits a little bit early. Number one, if I have a credit of $172, I'm going to take profits at about 50% of that, maybe about $85 a contract. That would tell me that the stock really only needs to come down to about 111 for this trade to work. Now, that gets me out early. I can repeat the trade if the stock continues to fall, and it gets me out at a high percentage area. This lets me make more money and have a much higher percentage of winning. Now, the second thing I like to do, if the stock decides that, we're going to go ahead and rally instead of decline, once I pass the price of the option I sold, 135, that becomes my stop. So if I exit this trade as the stock passes 135, I'm only going to lose in this trade about $35 a contract. Think about that. $85 in potential profits, only a $35 loss. This is how, when you go back and look at some of my trades in the past, you can see that my losses are in often times very small. Sometimes they match my average win, but my losses are typically much, much smaller than my gains. And that's how, if I click on my analysis, you can see that my average winner and my average loser are really nicely in line. Now, if you're wondering how did that P&L go to $13,000, what I've done is I'm only looking at trades now for the past 2.5 months. So if I go to my monthly P&L, this is my August results, my September results, and the first part of October before I've locked in any trades. You can see as the market has sold off in the last couple of months, my win rate has gone to 80% and my average winner to 720 and my average loser to 571. This is how we have done this year using VectorVest and the power of options. Good evening, VV Nation. Ron Wheeler here, manager of options trading, bringing you tonight's special presentation, Finding Consistent Profits in a Falling Market. Now, why is this so important that we learn? Well, to be successful as a trader, as an investor, you must learn how to profit in both bullish and in bearish markets. Now, how are some of the ways that we can profit from these falling markets? Well, we can become short sellers. We can actually short stock. Now, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people cannot do that. So there's some other opportunities. There's buying contra ETFs. That's another way to profit during falling markets. But what I want to show you tonight, I want to show you how I've done it this year, and I've been doing this for the last 25 years as a trader. I'm going to show you, using the power of options, how we can profit from a falling market. So if what we talked about is interesting to you and you want to add this into your portfolio, we are launching our all-new Options Paycheck Experience class in November. Our clients who've taken this course are making that average of 3% per month. You saw the trades that we did live in front of our clients. If you're a little bit more active, you could even do better. The Options Paycheck Experience is the most comprehensive program for generating consistent income using these types of spreads. After going through this course, you're going to know exactly how calls and puts work. You're going to know the option terms you need to know, the ones that you don't need to worry about. You'll no longer have that fear of options. You're going to have clear signals telling you when to trade and then also when not to trade. You're going to be able to quickly identify the stocks, just like we did here today, that are the best candidates, including some searches that I've already customized for you to help you get through some of this selection process. We're going to be able to set up income trades that give you a historical 70% plus success rate. You're going to have a trade management game plan in place up front. That way you can control your risk, just like we've done this year by having those winning trades match those losing trades in size. You're going to be able to confidently enter and exit trades with your broker, whether you've done this once or 1,000 times. And then at the end, you're going to be implementing that system that's going to help you safely and consistently generate that income. Now, the course is 8 modules long, and we made them so each module builds on the one prior. As you go through the modules, you're getting closer and closer to that end goal, which is a system for consistent income. Now, the first 2 modules, we call these the Option Income Foundation. A lot of people try to build their income portfolio and they build that strategy, but they base it on such a weak foundation of knowledge. We understand. We've been there before. We know what it's like to learn options. It pays to learn from a team who's gone through this before. Now, the outcome for Module 1, you're going to know exactly how those calls and puts work, all the terms that you need to understand and pay attention to, and really what not to worry about so you don't waste your time and get frustrated. Now, in Module 2, you're going to learn that spread trade we talked about. You're going to be filled with confidence to start building your system around that powerful new trade. Now that you've learned that foundation of option knowledge, we're going to lay out that step-by-step system that's going to help you place these income trades. We're going to stack probability along the way. In this section, you're going to get complete clarity on market trends. So instead of looking at just bullish trades and bearish trades together, we're going to narrow our focus to what the market is doing. In Module 4, We're going to help you find those stocks, just like we did tonight, those stocks that are moving in the direction of the market and are highly probable to continue moving in that direction. We're also going to introduce index trading as well, which is another great opportunity for those of you that have a limited amount of time to trade. In Module 5, now that you've got your list of stocks, we're going to narrow it down to the best option candidates. We're going to look for the ones that give us the highest probability for profits and made sure that you're getting paid that top dollar. That way you can make money even if the trade goes nowhere. In Module 6, we're going to continue to stack that probability and reduce the risk. Here you're going to learn to make sure your trade has the perfect combination of risk reward. You're going to know exactly where to set your strikes. You know, a great trade doesn't happen by accident. It's part of strategically setting them up correctly and following a profitable system. In Module 7, we're going to take the whole idea of being a deer in the headlights out of the picture. We're going to teach you how to exit your trades properly, not only to take profits, but to cut your losses. We'll also teach you an adjustment strategy to help you minimize your losses if you'd like. And most importantly, we're going to teach you portfolio allocation. How much risk should you have? How many contracts should you trade? We're going to make sure that the money management is upfront and known before those trades are placed. And then finally, in Module 8, we'll talk about the execution. We're going to give you some advice for brokers. I've got some videos that walk you through certain broker setups. We're going to make sure that you understand how to place these trades with your broker. Now, if you're new to options and you're new to spread trading, we've got a great checklist that we build throughout the course. And at the end, you're going to have a checklist that'll help you take step-by-step mechanical process to getting these trades off. It's very, very simple. We've got it all written down for you. Now, before I talk about the price, I want to make this as low risk as possible. I've been teaching the options paycheck now for over 6 years. We've got thousands and thousands of happy clients that have done this course. But I want you to trust me. I offer you a 100% money back guarantee. If at the end of the course you don't feel like we've shown you how to profit from these options trades, you can get your money back. The only thing that we have a caveat of, we want to make sure you're going to go through the program. We want you to watch the videos, participate in some of the online classes, do the assignments, do the work, because if we know that you do the work, we know that you will get those results. And if you don't feel that way, we will give you a refund. We're going to teach you how to do 3% per month. That's 36% a year. You've seen our results for 2022. We are well on pace to that 36% goal here in October. This is what we do. Now, the options paycheck course, again, it's a step-by-step training that goes completely from option basics to that full implementation of an income system. Just these training modules alone are worth the price of the course. But I also want to talk about some bonuses for you. During our first month, we call this as the Mastery Package. The Mastery Package is a series of live presentations with us where we cover each module of the course. You're going to watch the module pre-recorded, then we're going to get together 3 times a week to make sure that you understand and are ready to implement these concepts. We're going to do weekly Q&As. We have an online support community where we're going to support you there, also your peers. You have a private dedicated email that goes to myself and our team. And then we also are going to give you access to both VectorVest and the Options Pro software if you do not currently have them. We're going to give you those for the 2 months of the course, November and December. Now, what I think is the most exciting bonus we have, this is what we call our implementation month. In December, you're going to learn all of these concepts in November, and then in December, I'm going to invite you to my live trading sessions. These are those sessions where I place those trades that I showed you in my results. You're going to be able to work with us. We're going to show you the trades live. We're going to show you how we put them in place in the broker. We are going to work with you for that month of December to make sure that you are getting these trades done properly. We also have 2 office hour sessions a week to answer any questions that you may have during the month of December. We really want to see and we really invest in your success. So just a quick summary. You're going to get the Complete Options Paycheck Training Program, 8 training modules, videos, checklists, cheat sheets, quizzes, slides. The Mastery Session in November, we're going to make sure you understand the concepts, and then the Mastery or the Implementation Month in December to make sure that you are ready to implement these trades. Get your 2023 off to a great start. You know, the total value of this is $44.80, but here's what I'm going to do. Here's the opportunity. I'm going to roll up my sleeves, work with a few hundred people who are serious about generating these types of profits. And if you choose to be one of them, together, we are going to build this into your portfolio. So if you want to join me and have me take you by the hand and help you do this, then instead of that $4,000, our normal early bird price is $1,295. However, since you spent the time with me and you're listening to this presentation, I want to give you an extra bonus. If you order before 6 p.m. Monday, October 24th, we're going to lower that price to $995. All you got to do is go to optionspaycheck.com, get yourself registered. The live sessions start November 1st. Get yourself ready for a profitable 2023. Close out 2022 by learning a valuable system that can create profits in any type of market. Now, before I go tonight, I also want to talk about when the live sessions are so you have an idea of what it's going to look like in November and December. Now, if you miss a live session, don't worry. We record every live session that we do. So whether you can attend all of these or none of these, we've got you covered. The first class is November 1st. That's going to be a welcome class just to give you all of the locations of the materials. And then as you can see, we start doing our mastery sessions. On Wednesday the 2nd at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to discuss Module 1. You watch the video ahead of time. We come in there and do the assignment with you, the quizzes, and answer any questions you may have on Module 1. And then you can see the schedule for the remainder of the month of November. We also do a live Q&A on Fridays at noon. So between those 3 sessions a week, hopefully one of those will work with your schedule. If not, again, we record everything. Now, in the month of December, every Monday, I hold live coaching with my students. We do this at 11 a.m. for the S&P 500 and 2 o'clock for credit spreads. You are going to be invited to those to help implement trades. You're going to see the trades that I'm doing in my account, and you'll be able to participate if you'd like. Then we hold office hours sessions 2 times a week, Tuesdays at 5 p.m. and then Fridays at 12. And the cool part about the Friday at 12 session is I've actually pulled off live trades in those as well. I use that as a second attempt to get trades off for that week. Now, if you've never traded options before, we get this question a lot. How much experience do I need? We have found that 83% of our course graduates said you can be successful with little to no options experience. You can do this. The education is out there. Join the many people who have done the options paycheck in the past and become one of those members who are consistently making money. Remember, order it before 6 p.m. Monday, October 24th. We'll knock that down to $995. All you got to do, go to optionspaycheck.com, get yourself registered, prepare yourself for a profitable 2023. Thanks for watching our presentation tonight, and have a great night, everybody.